Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lewy is here. Now, one of you asked me to talk about this drug that is totally marketed by our online influencers and our celebrities for weight loss. And I've always insisted there is no shortcut in weight loss. Of course, people don't like the long route. And I've also realized that most people who undergo these shortcuts for weight loss, when they head into a clinic or a bariatric surgeon's office and they do these bariatric surgeries, if they turn out positive, they will come out and market the surgeons and the clinics. But if one turns out negative, they are so quick to actually point it out and lash it on social media and all that. But the reality is, we get to learn lessons from them because, again, we will never stop telling you there's no shortcut in weight loss. And the easiest way to lose weight is actually to fix your kitchen and to just develop the discipline because, again, at the end of the process, the discipline shall be required. You've seen that there are people who actually go and do the gastric balloon. They take that balloon, and after 6 months, nothing has happened. They've lost about 8 kgs or so. And then when the balloon is removed, they go back to their habits because, again, you have to develop the discipline of diets and discipline of fasting for you to attain this. But I'll tell you a short story. When you're trying to lose weight, you actually need to take control of about 4 or 5 hormones. Number one is, of course, insulin. Make sure that your insulin levels are very low because when they are low, you're burning. And I want you to take note of this because as I'll be talking about the mode of action of Ozempic, which is called semaglutide, you will see it actually increases insulin levels and increases sensitivity of insulin. So when you're losing weight, make sure your insulin levels are low. So therefore, don't consume foods that actually spike insulin, specifically processed carbohydrates and all that, and the sugars. Increase your growth hormone because growth hormone comes hand in hand for the men plus testosterone. That will help you in fat burning, and that will actually make sure that you lose the weight. Even for women, the growth hormone helps you to burn the fat, and the highest amounts of growth hormone are actually produced early in the morning as the counter-regulatory hormones to pump glucose into the system so that it can actually prepare you for the new day. And this is one of the reasons why I tell you to work out in the morning, because you'll capitalize on high levels of both growth hormone, which is good for the muscle growth, and glucose that is coming into the system. Another hormone that has to be maintained at low is cortisol, because cortisol is the stress hormone. It encourages the liver to actually produce more glucose, so it has to actually be brought down. Also, estrogen. Remember, the fatter you grow, the more the estrogen, the more you keep storing. And again, women who are on hormonal contraceptives, you have high estrogen levels, and this is a problem. So when you lower that estrogen levels, you're safe because, again, high estrogen levels are very detrimental to your thyroid hormones or your thyroid gland. And when you have low thyroid performance, you'll have low thyroid hormones. That means you'll be sluggish in terms of metabolism. Remember, the thyroid hormones are the ones that are responsible for metabolism and fat burning. So that is what you should know when you're trying to lose weight. But understand, again, it's very important to balance between the food intake and the energy that you're actually spending. This is where you get those people saying, oh, you know, calories in and calories out, or, you know, you should actually be in a calorie deficit state. This is what they mean, that the amount of intake of calories that is actually coming in should be proportional to what is actually going out. But attaining this is a very difficult process because you start measuring the calories, you start trying to work out so hard when you eat much, and that doesn't make sense. It has to be practical, it has to be sustainable. So therefore, this is a little bit skewed. So you just have to strike a balance in terms of fasting and eating healthy, the amount of calories that you're taking in. And also remember, calories are not the same. So for example, somebody who just ate a donut and somebody who ate 4 eggs, all of them have high calories. But the reality is the egg comes in with essential calories, but the donut comes in with empty calories. So do not compare the calories coming in with the donut and the calories that are coming in with an avocado. It doesn't make sense, okay? So there are two parts of the brain that are responsible for the eating and the need to seek food, or actually satiety also. So the brainstem, which receives reflexes from the gut, there is a nerve that moves from the gut all the way to the brain, is called the vagus nerve, cranial nerve number 8, I believe so. So that nerve is the one that actually shows the brain, you know what, I have eaten, the stomach muscles have distended, and once that is happening, please allow me to stop eating now because my stomach has stretched enough. And if the stomach walls is not distended enough, there's another signal that's actually sent through the same nerve to actually indicate that, you know what, it's time for us to start feeding. That is into the brainstem, and there's another one that goes into the hypothalamus, and I hope you can actually understand this better because the hypothalamus controls a lot of things here. One is, of course, hormone production in terms of satiety and hunger, but most importantly, that hormone called dopamine, because dopamine is a hormone that actually gives you or heads you into the reward system, where when you consume sugar, the body gives you dopamine. You start feeling good. It's a feel-good hormone. Just the same way, after sex, you produce a lot of dopamine. You feel good about that, and you become addicted to pornography, masturbation, sex, and all that, even alcohol. So this is the hormone that actually brings you food addiction also. And then, of course, it controls nutrition. Have you eaten enough nutrients? Which nutrients should come in and which ones should go out? Therefore, it doesn't take you into nutrition overload or nutrition underload. Okay. And then, of course, it actually takes you to a place where when you're eating, when you're hungry, you have to eat and then preserve the energy. But when you're full, you have to stop eating and then now start spending the energy in terms of burning fat. However, most of us are unable to actually attain this goal because of one, dopamine levels that are always spiking up and giving us addiction. Number two, high insulin levels that will constantly send you into addictions and cravings, because it's a reward system. Okay, you eat sugars, you get high insulin, you get high dopamine, and it goes on and on and on. You go into hypo, you want to eat again to feel good. So most of you do not eat because they are hungry. They eat because they are addicted to food. And I'll tell you this for free. Hunger is not an empty stomach. It's a mindset. That's the reason why those hours that you're constantly eating are the hours that you're most hungry. Beyond that hour, there's no hunger anymore. It's always in the mind. And the body adapts to that habit and starts becoming problematic. So I want you to know Ozempic is a drug that is actually designed for treatment of type 2 diabetes. But now it's being marketed for weight loss. And I've seen most celebrities doing this. And of course, they'll post it for you, but they'll never post the side effects and all that and whatever they go through. So I think it's my role to actually educate you about that. Now, at this moment in time, you walk in town, you walk everywhere, you see people are fat. At least in 5 people, you'll see 3 are obese, either overweight or obese. And that is a little bit concerning because that's not how we were as Africans in the 1970s. People were tall and lean. Nowadays, you have short and fat people and they are very emotional. But this is the reality. In the next 5-10 years, this drug will be a super cake in Africa. Why? Because of course it's already being tested, and you see what is happening. That we are unable to actually just put in the discipline of diets, and we consider this shortcut. But we forget after this therapy, we will still be the same people. We'll still be the same people with the same habits, and we still grow fat. So this will be a very, very big deal in Africa in the next 10 years. And I'll be here to say that again. Now, this drug is under a group of drugs that are called the GLP-1 receptor agonists. Remember GLP, the word GLP is just a bigger word. It actually means glucagon-like peptide. So glucagon, there are 2 hormones that you produce when you're either eating or fasting. One is insulin. When you're eating, the pancreas gives you insulin to actually bring down the blood sugars. The opposite of that is glucagon. So glucagon is produced when you're in the fasted state, so that you encourage the liver to burn fat to give you glucose to maintain your blood sugar levels. And this is one of those drugs, that's a group of GLP-1 agonists. What it does is it actually acts as though it's the GLP, the peptide. So it's actually activating the production of for you to burn fat to lose weight. But I want you to see something interesting here. This drug actually causes an increase in insulin and insulin sensitivity. Now that beats my understanding, because when you're eating carbohydrates, you're actually pumping glucose from the blood into the cells to actually put up weight. So the easiest way is to drop the carbohydrates so that you actually do the opposite, you burn. But you see, anytime you're eating in the feeding state, you're producing insulin, therefore you're suppressing glucagon. But this is glucagon-like peptide. So it actually beats my understanding when the mode of action of this drug is actually to increase insulin production and insulin sensitivity. So then we are already obese. We need to burn fat, and the stores are empty, should be emptied for us to lose weight. So then if we increase insulin, how are we going to lose weight? Hello? If we increase the insulin, how are we going to lose weight? But of course, there are people who actually benefit from the fact that it actually suppresses appetite and then it slows down digestion. But this one, when you slow down digestion, of course, constipation is coming in, bloating and abdominal upsets are coming in. So that can actually be a problem. And then, of course, stimulates insulin production. The one I just questioned, how can you stimulate insulin production when you really want to lose weight? And we said, for you to lose weight, you need to actually lower insulin. Possibly this is one of the reasons why these people keep on taking these shots. And you will see them still in the gym. You will see them limiting their food intake. You will see them trying to do an intermittent fast. Then you get confused. Why don't they just take that longer route? Why would they do that and then combine with this injection? Doesn't make sense. Because when you're fasting, doing intermittent fast and going for the keto diets, you're actually bringing your insulin low. So when you take this, you're actually countering that effect. So it doesn't make sense at all. Anyway, and then it signals fullness. So basically it fools your brain that, you know what, I am full, I don't want to eat. Appetite has to be suppressed so that I don't eat. And you see that will take you into nutrition deficiencies because you go into malnutrition because you're not taking in enough foods and you're ending up into that. But of course, as a result of the three, the appetite reduction, the slow digestion, and of course the fullness signal, you can end up losing a very small percentage of weight if you so wish. But if you combine it with other things, of course, okay, so you give credit to this, yet you've done a holistic approach of it, and that doesn't add up. So some of the side effects of this Ozempic, of course, we've said about the slow digestion, therefore bloating is coming in, and these are the things that you'll never be told. You'll be enticed to think that you'll just lose weight, and that's just it. I've seen these people posting on the central injection because this gives you a lot of nausea. Of course, when they post the under central injection for a reason. I've seen them also trying to combine some different foods and all that. And there are a lot of drugs that they are taking in combination with these injections, but they will never show you that and they'll never tell you that. Some of the side effects that you're not told, the allergies that come with it, skin allergies and all that, respiratory allergies coming in. Also kidney problems. So yes, you're bringing in a lot of insulin and you know what is going to happen, insulin resistance later down the line, and you'll end up having kidney problems. I want you to see this. Most drugs of diabetes are handling the symptoms of diabetes, not the disease, the cause of diabetes. This is one of them. So the kidney problems are coming in, and remember, kidney problems are sugar problems. So that tells you it is not taking sugar anywhere from the system. It's actually pumping it into the system, which will end up causing kidney problems later on in life. Gallstones are part of it, of course, and low blood sugars. Why? Because you're stimulating production of insulin, and insulin takes you into hypo. And when you go into hypo, you just crave to eat again. So how are you going to lose weight in appropriate ways? How are you going to maintain the discipline of diets and fasting if always you're in low blood sugars as a result of the side effects of Ozempic? Okay, so be cautious. And then, of course, vision problems, very, very disturbed vision. And the one that actually caught my attention is pancreatitis. Now imagine this, you're obese or you're diabetic, and you really need that pancreas to wake up to actually help you produce enough insulin to actually help you lower the blood sugar levels. But you're having pancreatitis, yet the pancreas is the one that is supposed to produce insulin to actually regulate blood sugars. So when you use this also works the same to those drugs that are called the gliptins. Most of the gliptins cause pancreatitis, and some have been known to or recorded to actually cause pancreatic cancer. And then I start wondering, how is it possible that I want you to recover from diabetes, which is a pancreas problem, and then I end up destroying the same pancreas that is supposed to actually come in handy to change your life in terms of diabetes? So then, are we not going to be on insulin therapy for a lifetime? So we start here, and then we grow into it, we get into pancreatitis, and now, of course, you'll be told either your diabetes has graduated from type 2 to type 1 because you don't have functional pancreas anymore, or now you have a pancreas problem, so we have to supplement the pancreas or do a surgery to remove the failing pancreas and then now put you on drugs for a lifetime. Or now we have to put you on insulin therapy because you don't have insulin anyway because your pancreas failed. So we are walking one step ahead and then two steps backwards. But this is not me to demonize Ozempic. If it's working for you, well done. We appreciate that.